June is National Internet Safety Month, and even though the month is coming to a close, it's never too late to remind ourselves that danger lurks all over the World Wide Web, and it's our responsibility to protect kids from those threats. Well, joining us with exceptional advice as always is Beverly Hutchison, Executive Director of the D. Norton Child Advocacy Center. Great to have you back.
Thank you.
So we were just talking about how the internet has taken over our lives, and how do parents deal with children now being exposed to all these avenues where they can get into all kinds of trouble.
Yeah, you really have to start with thinking about your family and your family's values, and then you start a conversation with your child around that.
Yeah.
As you begin to build rules, it's nice for them to have a context rather than just because mom said so.
Right.
But think about what your family values. At our house we value privacy. So we have rules around privacy and how we protect our privacy online.
Mm-hmm. What do you think are the biggest threats right now to kids online?
I think, and again, it's going to depend on the age of your child and where they are as far as development. The sharing of images is a risk. If children aren't aware of how those images might be misused and abused, and making sure that you talk to them about posting images. Location, that's another privacy issue. How do you protect where you are? So turning off some of those location features on your phone. Yeah. And then just really treating it like another place you live, another environment you go. And using some of those same basic thoughts and principles to guide you. Mm-hmm. We have rules around where our children go in the physical environment.
Yeah. It's like a virtual universe
right.
that we talk about so often.
Right, and using some of those same thought processes and guidance around that virtual world.
So you do say that the age of a child does matter when having these conversations, but there are certain things that you should follow, starting with communication being number one. Yeah. So depending on the age of kids, because when you mention kids, some ages may gravitate more towards social media, others to gaming or whatever the case may be. But really, it just seems like everybody's getting younger and younger and younger. So when you open that portal, to conversation, how do you start that conversation?
If you haven't started the conversation yet, use June, Online Safety Month as a place to start. And honestly, if your child's using a tablet, a device, and online, you should be having that conversation as soon as they're, and knowing, and developmentally, are they just watching, are they playing games? All right, are they just playing games within the device? Or are they playing games online? You have to know what your child's doing and where they're going so that you make sure the conversation's appropriate. Yeah. The number one thing is you want to establish a communication rapport with your child so that if they make a mistake, and they likely will, that you're their go-to. I know I have a niece and nephew, and they have a rule with their preteen daughter that if she wants to sign up for a new app and that requires a login, that she comes to them and together they work on that login.
Okay. So they know exactly what she's putting
where she's
on her
going,
device.
and then that gives them an opportunity to see that particular app and talk about some of the risks that might be involved with that app.
Yeah. Again, going back to gaming for a second, I grew up in the days of ColecoVision, where you just stick a little cartridge in, and the only person who's playing is you and mom, But now everything's online. Yep. You've got all kinds of people coming into your space, possibly.
Right.
So you're just so vulnerable. So to let parents know that also those privacy controls on all these different things, whether it's an app or an actual device or whatever the case may be, that it does have to go beyond that. Because a lot of times I think parents may think, well, as long as the parental controls are watching, I don't need to worry about it so much.
I just got back from family vacation, and I was with my 9-year-old nephew, who I'm really close to, who likes to play games, and he likes to play them online. So I had a great opportunity to have a conversation with him, and during that conversation, he said, Aunt Beverly, he said, somebody called me a bad word on my game. And I said, well, what did you do? He said, I told my mom and dad. And they told me they were really proud of me for coming and telling them. You want that.
Absolutely, absolutely. and when you say to teach the importance of not sharing information, it's so tempting for people to get so involved and ingrained in the experience that, well, if this person's sharing their location, what you think is the real location, well, I should go ahead and show mine. So just knowing how to create boundaries.
Very important, very important. And the whys, you know, children are smart. You know, you talk to them about the why, not just don't do this, but this is why I think you shouldn't do this. This is how you protect yourself and you keep safe.
Yeah, and reinforcement. So talk about just briefly reinforcement and the fact that everybody slips up now and again.
Sure.
So how do you keep a level head while instilling those rules?
I think that's such a challenge, you know, and I think about it, you know, as a parent myself, and if my child came to me and said, you know, I'm screwed up, I posted this picture, what do I do? One, first and foremost, you want to thank them. Gosh, yeah, you broke a rule, but thank you for sharing that, because I can't help you fix it if you don't share it, so thank you. And then talk to your child about, okay, so what are we going to do to try and fix this problem? You know, how are we going to behave differently? And if you've set up rules and consequences, then hold your child accountable to those consequences. That helps them learn that it's a privilege to use this device, to use these apps, and that if you break the rules, there are consequences, and then hold them accountable.
Beverly Hutchison, great conversation always. Thank you. We're back after this.